And I mean this, a lot of you have traveled, or I've traveled 800,000 miles just since being vice president. And I've traveled millions of miles around the world. I've been in almost every country in the world. If I blindfolded someone and took him at 2 o'clock in the morning into the airport in Hong Kong and said, "Where do you think you are?" They said, "This must be America. It's a modern airport." If I took him blindfolded and took to the LaGuardia Airport in New York, you must think I must be in some third world country.
Anyway, our infrastructure is suffering, and of course Mr. Biden talked about that, and we've got a special guest. He is our NYC Undercover Infrastructure Officer. We're going to see if we can get him up on the Skype here, and we're going to ask him some questions about this, because it's the subject's very interested to me, and I think we've got him there. Hello there, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Mr. Keevan.
Well, how are you doing?
Very well.
So tell me a little bit about your expertise.
Cement.
So you don't know about infrastructure, and what Mr. Biden said about infrastructure, somewhat, as I understand, is true, and and you have some information about that. Could you tell us a little bit about the infrastructure in New York City and sort of how it goes wrong or why it doesn't go right? I mean, particularly under the last 8 or 3 terms of Mayor Bloomberg.
Well, I am going to agree and disagree with the vice president. We have one of the top infrastructures for mass transit in the world. What we don't have is the standardized concrete, the tensile strength concrete to be used in that infrastructure. Beginning in 1993, when Giuliani came in, followed again by another administration of Giuliani, and then 2 of Bloomberg, the concrete has been shorted. It's a term used in the industry in which there are supposed to be so many bags per yard of concrete used.
And what's a yard?
A cubic yard.
Okay.
And so what you can do is, let's say you have 5 bags per yard. Different concrete depending on how it's used. Let's say if it's to be a rail bed for a train would take less of bags than it would be for concrete that's used in a landing concrete.
Well, let me go back
for an
to
airport.
The first thing you said about our infrastructure. Our subway sucks.
It actually does not.
Well,
What is wrong with our subway, if I can disagree,
yeah,
is the fact that we have used shorted cement. What they do is, where there's 5 bags needed for cubic yards, the concrete unions have used 2 bags and then have used those other 3 bags on other projects. In the meantime, we're charging 5 bags per cubic yard everywhere, but we're only using 2 bags.
So is that why the infrastructure is lousy? Because in a place where I should be using 5 bags of cement, I'm only putting 2 bags worth?
And you're seeing the cracks. You're seeing the massive rail bed split. The steel that is used in the rails is substandard. So this is why you're having the delays. In fact, what Giuliani's administration, or what was installed under the Giuliani administration, which should have lasted anywhere from 50 to 60 years in a lifespan, was now shorted to like 10 years.
Oh, so it cuts back on the lifespan of the cement as well.
And if you start to look, when these were put in 93, count 10 years, and where are we? We're in 2014, and we already have to replace what was already replaced and should not be replaced for another 40 years.
But isn't that true of all government, that we just continually get ripped off? I mean, it's just, what can we do about it? I mean, you're an undercover infrastructure officer. I'm a UIO. What can we do?
Well, the feds have already sent to prison the Indian national who was set up as the patsy to test the concrete. He's serving a 7-year sentence in a federal penitentiary. I think he started serving time in 2003. He took the fall. What we're looking at is the government has to go through inch by inch and review the concrete.
Oh my God, you're kidding.
This is why we're having so many train wrecks on the Metro North Railroad line.
That as well.
On tracks, pardon?
That as well.
Absolutely. And we're going to keep seeing accidents. Both, and this is one of the reasons why they had to pull up all the concrete in the Yankee Stadium when it was just completed. Quote, they said that there was a Boston curse with a jacket that was buried in the cement, when in fact they had shorted the cement and it was cracking before they even opened the gates.
Got it. I didn't know that. I remember that story. I thought they just undid a little piece, not the whole stadium, though.
No, they did the whole ramps that were going in for the pedestrians' access into the stadium.
Oh, they looked under all of them to find this jacket, quote unquote, but in reality they were replacing the cement.
Because they had just gotten busted.
Wow, excellent. Wow, that's the insight.
So
So
you realize, I just want to bring this up to you, Mr. Keevan, that they were also busted on the subflooring for the World Trade Center for substandard concrete.
So who is this that got busted?
This was the contractors that were laying the foundations for the World Trade Center.
Okay. For the new World Trade Center, yes.
Yes, and they had to tear them all down and restart, which delayed them by 3 years.
I remember that story as well. So this is the same game of shorting the bags?
Yes. What's most important for the people on the Upper East Side, especially those in the waste transfer section on 91st Street.
Yeah.
Beginning on...
That's 96th Street, isn't it?
Yes, 96. No, well, the actual site will come down to 91st or 92nd when it hits the water.
Okay.
Where you have 2nd Avenue, right from 92nd to 81st Street. That is where the bedrock meets the landfill. And when Bloomberg drilled the new tunnels, which were set up by D'Amato, that broke all the shorted concrete that Giuliani used to as the foundation for all the new co-ops that are along 2nd Avenue from 82nd Street to 96th.
Wow, so watch out for those explosions. I think we have a caller on the line. Are you there, caller? Hello, hello, hello? I guess we... Hello, are you there?
Yes.
Oh, hold the line a little bit, sir. So, infrastructure officer, we want to thank you very much. We've got another guest on here to give us an update on the Fashion Week, but what's the next step in this game? Are the bad guys going to go to jail?
Well, the next step in the game is to look at the west side where the Trump buildings are along 59th Street to 63rd and then further down all the way to the West Village, because along those natural gas pipelines are, again, shorted concrete, so we can expect the west side to blow.
All right, look, you take care so much, and thank you so much for your information, NYC Undercover Infrastructure Officer. We appreciate you checking in.
And we appreciate you checking the concrete.
All right, my friend.